Welcome. This is the Cadillac chat. We do these on Thursday nights. I don't have any special guests on tonight, although sometimes they come and go during the discussion. You're welcome to come and go during the discussion. The best way to do that is through Google Hangouts on Google Plus. You can also, I think, if you post comments on our YouTube channel, then they'll show up as Q&A here, or if you monitor on Google Plus. If you come in through CaddyInfo, there's a jump-in link right there in the forum post, which would bring you here, and that would help you get in. One of the forum questions, CaddyInfo is a Cadillac fan forum. And so one of the things I'd like to address is if you enjoy more Cadillac mail and you'd like to get more Cadillac mail from the forum, if you'd like to get notifications from the forum whenever people post things, then the way that you would do that, I'm going to share my screen for a moment. The way you would do that, and I'm going to flip us over to a window that has the chat on it. So this is the chat. So if you just hit play right here, you'd just be watching us right now chatting on video. And if you click this link down here, then that's a jump-in link to the video. But what I wanted to share was I'm currently following this topic. And so what that means is the forum will then use my notification preferences, and you can change your notification preferences using this bell up here. But because I'm following this topic, if anyone else replies to this topic, the forum will use my notification preferences to let me know that someone else has replied. So, and pretty much when you post, you're automatically subscribed to your own post, which helps people navigate their way back to what they have posted and so on. But another thing I wanted to share is, so if you go to our general Cadillac forums, so this is kind of the general forum where if something's not specific to a subforum, then people post here. You can also subscribe to this general forum. And so you can use the same button up here to say, I'd like to follow the general forum. And then whenever anyone posts in this forum on CaddyInfo, then you'll get an email alert, or you'll get notified in accordance with your notification preferences. And I say it that way because if you go into notifications, you can actually choose notification settings, and then you can tell the forum how often do I want to be notified, how do I want to be notified, which things should you email me about, which things should you alert me on the forum about, and so on. And so that's how you add a subscription or a notification for a specific forum. And you can go through, I think I hopefully am subscribed to every forum and subforum, but you can go through and subscribe just to the ones that you're interested in. Now, if you are currently subscribed, the way you would unsubscribe if you chose to, was you choose this following dialog. And again, you can edit it. I like to get an email anytime new content is posted, but you can tell it once a day or once a week, or don't send me anything. But you can also unfollow here on the right. And so if you chose to unfollow, then you won't be following the forum anymore. So sometimes I get emails from people who have followed the forum and they're getting emails, but then they sell their Cadillac or whatever, and they decide they don't want to follow the forum anymore, and they're unhappy that they're still getting emails when the system's only doing what you've asked it to do. And so, but if you want more emails from CaddyInfo, that's how you would go about getting more emails. The other thing is, anytime you ever get an email from the forum, down at the bottom of the email, it will say to unsubscribe to this email, and then it gives you instructions there. And so if you follow those instructions, then that would lead you to unsubscribe. But normally what happens is if people do contact me, then once I can figure out what their user ID is, then I can go in as them and remove their subscriptions, which they could have done themselves. But if they're confused about it, then I can go in and remove their subscriptions, and they can be happy. But if you wondered how can I get more alerts from CaddyInfo, then do that. The other thing is you can subscribe to the blog. that if you go to the blog, there's a place to subscribe there. You can get an RSS feed from the blog. You can get a podcast feed from the blog, a podcast feed for each of the seasons from the blog. I'm still adding, we're in season 4 on the podcast. I'm still adding episodes back from season 3. Of course, we did all of them live here on Hangouts. What I'm doing is I'm kind of forking the live Hangouts into audio podcast. Norm had asked for that, and I'm really glad he did, because I've really enjoyed listening to those now that we have them available as podcasts, so that if I'm in the car or I'm on the plane or somewhere that I don't have access to video, then I really enjoy those audio podcasts. Cadillac had released some sales figures in the last week. So it was the Cadillac sales for June that came out on the 1st of July. One of the interesting, and you can find the detailed sales figures posted in the forum. I guess what I will do is, on the blog. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share again. I'm going to screen share again, and we'll pop over to the blog and we'll look at the sales figures. And so you can find this crossover in SUV sales race ahead in June. So basically, if you look at the detail figures, Cadillac sales were up compared with last year. The way you read this table is the first column is 2016 sales for June. The second column was 2015 June sales. Percentage, how did the sales change year over year? And then year to date for 2016, year to date for 2015. So all the cars they sold so far in 2016 versus all the cars they sold so far in 2015. They had sold by this time of this year in 2015. So 2016, they sold more cars in June than they did last year, but year to date from January to June, they're behind last year's by about 10%. 9.5%. But what sold well, what's selling well is the Escalade was up 17%, and the extended version of the Escalade was up 19%, and the XT5 and the SRX. So you kind of have to combine the XT5 and the SRX sales and compare them with last year. So it's about 5,667 versus 5,746. So still down a little bit, but very healthy sales. And that means that the SRX and XT5 together, compare very favorably in their class with their competitors, that they're getting selected by people who really enjoy those types of crossovers. The CT6 had a strong first month, 962 sold of Cadillac's new big car. What I said in the text is you kind of have to I think the people that are shopping for the CT6 would previously have bought an XTS, which was Cadillac's front-wheel drive larger car. And so you have to compare the CT6 plus, I suggest you compare the CT6 plus the XTS sales to last year's XTS sales. So this year, combined, the XTS and the CT6 sold 2,146 compared with 1,447 last year. So it's up 48%. The big sedan sales at Cadillac up 48%. And that's a terrific story that maybe I buried the headline there, that should have been the title of the whole article, is big Cadillac sedan sales up 48%. I may have to go back and change that, but my apologies if I buried the lead on that one. But what I try and do, Cadillac does provide some color and insight. They said the Cadillac sales were up 21%. The new launch products, the XT5 and the CT6, were off to a strong start, and their average transaction price was $55,000, which is the highest in the luxury segment. And these are all U.S. sales. Cadillac's actually de-emphasizing announcing U.S. sales a little bit, and they're focused on what are their worldwide sales, because they're a worldwide car company. And so I appreciate that, but I like to keep up with the U.S. sales and see how they're doing. And so I appreciate their focus is that they're trying to look at the big picture, but I like to keep up with comparative U.S. sales and see how things are going. Lyft announced today that they're going to offer a Lyft Premier opportunity. And what happens there is if you use Lyft Premier, then they're guaranteeing that you'll get a luxury car. Now, I'd actually like for Lyft for you to be able to specify in Lyft, I'd like someone in a Cadillac to come pick me up, whether a Cadillac Escalade or a CT6 or whatever, because I think I would do that more if I were using Lyft than if I was just going to get a random car. I'm a Cadillac fan, and so I enjoy spending time in Cadillacs and getting to see other, if I have to catch a ride from here to there and somebody's trying to make some extra money doing Lyft, then I would rather a Cadillac driver to, to keep the money in the family, so to speak. Now you can reach me. My name's Bruce Nunnally, but you can reach me through CaddyInfo, admin@CaddyInfo.com, on Twitter as &CaddyInfo, and Instagram as &CaddyInfo, and Snapchat. On YouTube, it's actually CaddyInfo.com, all spelled out in letters. And I would love for you to follow me on Instagram, come to the forums and participate in the forums. The other thing I'd like to extend the offer that we have an opportunity for Cadillac clubs. If you'd like your Cadillac Club to have your own special subforum on CaddyInfo, then I can hook you up with that. It's a Cadillac focused site, and so we're really looking for Cadillac clubs or Cadillac focused clubs. But we can help you with that, and we would love to have you because we want to spend time with more people who are wanting to talk about Cadillac and luxury related topics. And so if you have, the other thing is if you're doing a Cadillac restoration, I saw one gentleman was doing a beautiful job of restoring a 1962 Cadillac, and you'd like to feature your journal, your restoration journal, on CaddyInfo, we'd love to have you do that. And the way you do that is you join the forum, which is free. You join the forum, you'd open a new topic in the appropriate forum or subforum, and just name it, Jack's 1962 car restoration journal, or whatever your situation is. And then every time you want to make an update, you can load images to the forum, and you can link to your YouTube videos and so on. And every time you make an update, you just add another post to that same thread, and other people would be able to post in the thread and so on. But I'll help you keep an eye out and keep it moderated so you won't get some of the push-pull that you get on other places on the internet. And so I can help you keep that clear so that you can enjoy the forum and people can enjoy your car journal. So the CT6, we're getting a lot more reviews on the CT6, which I appreciate. And so I think what happens originally is Cadillac kind of focuses on car related publications and the get of car magazines and websites and so on. And then now the cars are kind of getting to, either through local dealers or through Cadillac's media fleet, getting to small town newspapers, and they're doing articles about the CT6 or the XT5. And I really enjoy those because one, the level of journalism is somewhat higher in the small town papers where people are still journalists working at papers. And two, you get to hear a more varied view, that it's not just people who are jaded car reviewers and going from car to car to car, but you get to hear from people who are giving you honest impressions of the Cadillacs. And so I really enjoy that. Cadillac had come out with a carbon black sport package for the CTS and ATS line. The idea here is our friend Triple H used to always had a blacked out Cadillac. And so the idea here is it comes from the factory blacked out. So if you don't want a chrome grille and so on, it comes already blacked out. And so, and that does it does a nice contrasting color in order to, and so there's different ways you could have a good look there. You could either get a black car with blacked out grille, and so you have a very monochrome, sporty look, or you can get a white car with a blacked out grille. And so you have a big contrast. I apologize. I'm trying to keep a list of the topics that you and I have chatted about, so that makes it easier when I do the titling on the video. I have found a couple of different YouTube channels that I wanted to give a shout out to that I've been enjoying. And so let me flip over. I'm not gonna use the screen sharing, but let me flip over to those. Of course, one of them is Cadillac Country Club, Vinny's Cadillac Country Club. Vinny's not on with us tonight, but sometimes he pops on and chats. And so in Cadillac Country Club, he keeps up with his rambling when he's at the auto show or when he's at other locations. And so you can find that. He's doing some video direct to Facebook lately, and he has a nice following on Facebook. And so check out Cadillac Country Club on Facebook. But the other thing is, if you go to CaddyInfo.com on YouTube, or obviously you found us if you're on this. So if you go to this channel I'm posting this video to, then over in the right featured channels, then you'll find Cadillac Country Club. Vinny and I aren't actually affiliated. We just both enjoy Cadillacs, and Vinny has a number of different sites, including a Cadillac site. So the other one is Junk Box Mike Calvert. I wanted to give a shout out to that. Mike's the one doing this restoration of a 62 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. And he basically covers the whole thing from when he first got the car to now he's doing body work on the car and so on. And so big shout out to Junk Box Mike Calvert. And he's up to like episode 18 of his restoration. And so as I told him, he will certainly know this Cadillac inside and out by the time he finishes this restoration, because he's having to take it completely apart, and he's doing a yeoman's job finding any rust or any issues with the car. And hopefully then he'll get years of enjoyment from the car. Or a lot of times what people do is they really enjoy the journey of restoring the car. And then once they get it finished, then they're done and they need another project. that once they're done with the restoration, then they need a second, the next project. And so it may be that Mike may be that way, that once he gets the car restored, then he'll go get another restoration project and keep working from there. But whatever he chooses, I think he's doing a nice job. If you really want to learn how to do some of the restoration that he's doing, the only thing I would say is on some of on the videos themselves, I would put into the individual videos exactly what he's doing. And so he does that in the title where he says, well, he's working on the fender, or this one he's restoring a door steel patch. So that may be sufficient, but in the description I would put a paragraph description of exactly what's going on there to help YouTube search find each of these treasures, as he's showing you exactly the restoration that he's doing for this fine automobile that he's working on. There was more text about news and text about the ATS-V and how well the ATS-V is doing. I am having a big time. I had bought a new 2016 Cadillac ATS-V this year, and I'm just having a ball with it. The only downside I've got is it's got a squeak somewhere that I still have to track down. The problem is I drive it by myself, or my wife's in the car when we're going to dinner, but I need to have one of my friends come over and drive it and let me climb in the back seat with with the center tube from a roll of paper towels or something, and try and figure out where this squeak is coming from, so that then, or just take it over to the dealer and let them figure it out. But I think it would be kind of fun if I can figure out where the squeak is coming from and how to correct it. Then we will have that as a journal entry. I have a couple of things coming for the car. I ordered a new dash cam, and I put an article about that on the forum. Basically, if you follow the Tech Moan reviews, a nice fellow on YouTube that does reviews of different products, and he had done a number of different dash cam reviews, and so the one that he picked out that he really thought was the best one is, or the best one he's seen during this period, is the one that I ordered. It's actually coming from overseas, so it's going to take a minute for it to get here. And then separately, I ordered a memory card for it. It's a DDPI M6 Plus HD. So it ought to be a 1440p video camera. And so that way, hopefully we'll have some dash cam video that we can intersperse with the chats, or to post to the forum and so on. I do post my PDR video sometimes, which is interesting. And actually that PDR video that I posted got, more hits than some of these chats have gotten. But so hopefully we'll enjoy that when it comes in. And it was about $147 on eBay. The surprising thing was that was without a memory card. So I'll be careful about that you need to order a memory card to use with it in order for it to work. And so the 147 isn't the whole buy-in. And certainly you can get a dash cam for less money than that. But since the 1446p cameras are just coming on, I wanted to get one of those because, we'll be beyond that in a year. The video keeps getting more better, and so I wanted to get kind of state of the art for this week with with a reasonable price tag before, so that then if I keep the camera for a year or two, that it will only be a year or two behind and not hideously behind. So also shout out to you there at home. If you would like to be on the chat and join me, and I thought maybe Norm was going to stop in and join us tonight, and he may be trying and just can't figure it out. He can't get in the right way. But if you want to be on the chat sometime, then contact me and let me know, and I will try and figure out how to help you get on the chat. That there are numerous ways, and it's pretty easy to use the chat and the hangouts, and you don't have to have a camera and headset. You can use your phone or your iPad. The Google Plus is pretty friendly that way. You can actually do text chat just by going into the Hangout, and it will let you post questions back and forth. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you're listening time delayed on audio, this is the CaddyInfo Thursday night chat. My name is Bruce Nunnally, CaddyInfo.com. If you go to CaddyInfo.com, you land on the blog, but there's a link there to the forums. And you can also find me on Twitter at CaddyInfo, CaddyInfo, on Instagram at CaddyInfo, and Snapchat. You can find me on YouTube if you just click on if you go to YouTube from this video. You can find the channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel needs a ton more love. You can also find CaddyInfo on Facebook. If you subscribe on Facebook, that's another way that makes it easy to keep up with tweets and video and Instagram and anything else, so that you get your curated Cadillac content delivered directly to your mailbox in whatever forum you prefer. Thank you.